Bienvenidos to the CBS19 Hispanic Heritage Month special. I'm Marangeli Lopez.
And I'm Jesus Martinez, and we're so thankful you're here with us today. It's safe to say, Mara, the Hispanic community is growing right here in East Texas.
It is so large. We love our Hispanic community here. If you take a look around, you'll notice that there's a lot of new Hispanic-owned restaurants, businesses, and there's even faith groups that are branching out to reach the Hispanic and Latino community.
That's right. So here's a look at what you can expect in this next half hour to highlight all the work that's being done right here in our community. We're showcasing those who are making a difference, like those volunteering their time to teach immigrants English and assimilate them to the East Texas culture.
We're also taking a look at how a nonprofit has been working tirelessly to get more underserved communities the information that they need to be voting in this upcoming election.
And we'll take a look at healthcare options offered at low cost and the great work the Bethesda Health Clinic is doing to be more inclusive and help get the word out for those who need it.
And we'll also take a moment to celebrate faith and family as a church that's been a staple in East Texas is becoming more diverse by creating a successful Spanish ministry. We'll get to all that in just a second, but first let's get into some quick facts. Jesus, I've had a lot of people, at least 5 this past month
Maybe
ask
6.
me, well, yeah, exactly. Why is it called Hispanic Heritage Month, but if it's celebrated, from mid-September to mid-October?
Mara, the answer is simple. We kick off things on September 15th because it's the anniversary of independence of several Latin American countries. And this month is all about honoring the diversity and achievements of the Hispanic community right here in the U.S. and East Texas especially. So let's come together to appreciate the vibrant heritage that enriches our lives, starting with so that some are making a difference right here in East Texas.
That's right. And you guys know that this year's election is a very important one. It's going to shape the direction of some key policies on issues like healthcare, climate change, and social justice. That all impacts our daily lives. It can also shape the Supreme Court's composition. It could influence some long-term decisions on rights and freedoms. And of course, voter turnout is vital. It determines how effectively all of the voices in our communities are represented in shaping the future. So as you get ready to head for the polls for early voting on Election Day, which is on November 5th this year, there have been groups that are working tirelessly to get the Hispanic voters to show up to the polls, particularly those living in the most rural communities.
We're collectively working towards the future we want to build.
Este Poder. It's a nonprofit in East Texas that's been working tirelessly to register a key demographic to vote.
We wanted to bring importance to rural East Texas.
They want to see more representation in local government, and that starts by educating eligible voters.
We do all of our work multilingual, so brochures, pamphlets, and then we also make sure that there's always someone at the table that can speak Spanish if it is requested or needed.
Emily Pinal is the co-founder of this small but mighty group. Founded 4 years ago, Este Poder is comprised of 4 staffers, each with a mission to reach the most underserved communities in our region.
We emphasize how it has a direct impact in your life. The city councils, the governors, they decide laws on what happens in your state, in your city.
Yes, so local matters so much.
If you drive further east, it's where you'll find the first ever Hispanic person to be voted into city council for the city of Longview.
I had a burning desire to make a difference in my community, and it took the village of the great people of District 5 to get me elected.
Michelle Gamboa was elected in 3 years ago, and in that time, she'll tell you she's been able to make a real difference in her constituents' lives.
It's been a hard economic year for a lot of people, so I personally have also been trying in the budget to, focus on our essential services for our citizens, make sure they're not being cut, make sure that we are keeping them to the highest standard that they can be held to.
Making a difference in her district while realizing who she's representing.
I wanted to fight for them. I wanted to represent them, and I took up that leap of faith and I won my election.
Back in the community, work continues to be done by leaders at Este Poder. After spending time at 22 community events, they have over 400 pledges to vote.
These are people that have committed they're going to go vote in November, and their number one issue they care about right now is health care, and the second one is immigration, and the third one is safety at schools.
All issues the organization has been able to pinpoint from surveying more than 6,000 eligible voters in the most rural communities in East Texas.
I don't feel like right now the state, represents our entire community. So we want to make sure that we have a say, especially rural communities of color.
Well, October is crucial when it comes to the election. Early voting will begin on the 21st, and then 4 days later will be the deadline to apply for your ballot by mail. Election Day is Tuesday, November 5th.
Well, this next story is sure to warm your heart. Volunteers going out of their way show adult students it's never too late to learn a new language.
That's right. And Jesus was able to go to this East Texas church that's stepping in to help the community to learn English. And that's all with the help of a local nonprofit. He went to one class and he spoke to a man that's been attending that course for several years.
And he's going above and beyond. Take a look.
How do you think you spell Hakeem? What is the first letter? H? Probably. Could it
Welcome
be
to Grace in Espanol.
Could maybe?
We've been here 8 years, opening our doors to the community.
Do you need a place to sit? Yeah. Okay.
Bringing ESL classes to anyone willing to learn English for free.
Let's see how Hakeem spells his name.
Year by year, it's just grown and grown and grown.
ESL program coordinator Melissa Russell says they offer classes from a beginner level to a more advanced stage through courses of 5 levels.
G. H.
When the program first started, the class had about 14 students each class. Fast forward almost a decade later,
They're up to 40, 45 students per class, and we have from level 0 to level 5.
All right, ready for the next one?
a packed house for people wanting a better education and a better future, like Oscar Mendoza.
I have been in this program for 5 years.
Oscar came to the U.S. 8 years ago from Guanajuato, Mexico.
Sometimes it's scary because you don't know any words in English, so that's scary.
From hardly knowing a word in English to having full-on conversations.
5 years ago, I think I couldn't speak more than I was, and right now I see the difference.
A difference he hopes to take outside of the classroom for a better job opportunity.
I'm an electrician. I don't have no license, and I need more English. I need to speak fluently English for get my license. So that's what I like to the next step for me.
Just coming once a week for 2 hours a day, learning another language has helped them so much.
But a lot of this wouldn't be possible without the help of PAVE, or Pathways for Adults Via Education, formerly known as the Literacy Council of Tyler.
They're the ones who do donate the books to us.
In your yellow book on page 3,
The curriculum that we use for our students, and this year they helped us a lot with testing.
And Grace en Espanol offers so much more. Carlos Vera, chaplain for the church, says there's a bigger need for the community than just learning a new language.
Y canalizándoles a diferentes lugares profesionales que les pueden ayudar.
We channel them to different places that can help them, like the food bank, Bethesda Clinic, and immigration resources.
Lugares de migración.
And this program is just a stepping stone for what could be the start of a bright future for these students, proving it's never too late to learn something new.
And even from there, encouraging them to go to do their GED if they can.
In Tyler, Jesus Martinez, CBS19.
Great story there, and great classes that they're offering out of Grace en Espanol in partnership with PAVE. So if you're interested in attending one of these classes, keep an eye out on their social media pages to register for the spring semester, which starts this upcoming February. And Mara, they have free childcare too.
That is the best part. I always love it when I see these opportunities for growth and learning, and the fact that they offer free childcare, that means that there's no excuses.
Awesome. No excuse not to go.
All right. Well, still ahead on our Hispanic Heritage Month special. It is a very special year. Many celebrations like the second annual Hispanic National Night Out took place. We'll take you to it.
And Green Acres en Espanol also celebrating milestones as they mark 1 year for their Spanish services, and the congregation is growing fast. The stories after the break.
The city of Tyler's Hispanic population has grown so much. There are enough people to throw a fiesta on National Night Out.
Yeah, and that event is great for law enforcement to get to know the community and their partners while they face each other as they all go out on a fiesta, like Mara said, which is on October 1st. If you remember last year, I introduced you to Bianca's medley as she helped organize the first Latino National Night Out right here in Tyler. And this year's event was bigger and better.
Sure it was.
Yeah. CBS 19's Jimmy Searfoss gives us some of the sights and sounds this year.
So this is our National Night Out. Because it is Hispanic Heritage Month, Councilman Nguyen came up with a great idea a year ago to hold one here at Hillside Park because it is known for its Hispanic culture. This year it's twice as big. Just the support of the community that want to represent and be here, it just shows how much the community loves their city and shows support and love for our first responders here in the city of Tyler.
Definitely looked like a great time out there. Hey, and speaking of second annuals, in September, Green Acres and Espanol celebrated their second year of their Spanish service.
And as we mentioned, this just shows how much the Hispanic community is growing right here in East Texas because the church has grown exponentially over this past year.
Yeah, Green Acres and Espanol is leading the way to reach more Spanish speakers in our area through this service.
CBS 19's Robert de la Garza spoke with church leaders and members on this day of celebration.
Green Acres Baptist Church in Tyler is crossing uncharted territory in East Texas, integrating to include an entire Spanish ministry.
This has been something that people have been begging for and asking for, and we're just praising God that He has made a way.
Lead pastor Michael Gossett says they recognize the need for the community to have services that reflect the community we live in, starting with Green Acres Espanol.
And you know, with the high percentage of our Hispanic population here that's so healthy here in Tyler and East Texas, a lot of folks still want to speak in their heart language, in their language of preference, and we wanted to give them that option.
Members like Jorge Enriquez.
Having a church that is Spanish speaking helps me communicate better, and I'm more free to talk and have friends.
He has lived in Tyler for nearly 25 years and says it's been difficult to find a church like Green Acres.
It's not easy to find a church that integrates and brings the community together and grows that fast.
Something Fernando Mangieri, lead pastor for Green Acres Espanol, says was always part of the vision.
From the beginning, we wanted to be the church for the city, and God has opened doors and we have introduced ourselves to the community and have been very well received.
The Spanish ministry started with less than 20 members, and in the blink of an eye has now seen over 200 members. A diverse campus with over 18 nations represented weekly.
A multicultural and multi-generational church.
The anniversary coincidentally lands on the first day of Hispanic Heritage Month this year. Green Acres Espanol celebrated with a bigger, better service than last year and a luncheon.
In here, you can see the energy, feel the energy, and you can immediately feel the warmth and love of the room as soon as you come in.
The church only continues to grow day by day. As for future expectations, the sky is the limit.
We're looking at making a generational impact. We want to plant a tree today that the next generation will enjoy the shade. And that's the way we view things here at our church.
Reporting in Tyler, Robert de la Garza, CBS 19.
If you are interested in getting involved with Green Acres Espanol or know somebody who can benefit from their services, they meet every Sunday at 11 a.m. at the Crosswalk Conference Center. And if you don't know Spanish,
well, they have a special earpiece you can wear where there's live English translations. How cool.
Very, very cool. All right, still ahead on our Hispanic Heritage Month special, an East Texas clinic is assisting the Hispanic community to overcome a language barrier.
And CBS 19's Diana Torrealba in studio to give us a preview. Diana.
That's right. Coming up after the break, I'll share more about Bethesda's medical services and how they're helping the Hispanic community.
Welcome back to our Hispanic Heritage Month special. It's no secret that healthcare is expensive, especially for those who are uninsured.
But here in East Texas, there's a health clinic offering many resources to those uninsured, especially the Hispanic community. CBS19's Diana Torrealba joins us in studio to tell us more about this clinic. How are they paving the way for the Hispanic community, Diana?
That's right. Bethesda has been serving our community for years. Over that time, they have expanded their medical services, all while helping the Hispanic community overcome barriers. For Dr. Jose Ricardo Martinez, serving the local community is more than just a job. It is his calling. As the new medical director at Bethesda Health Clinic, he is committed to making sure everyone has access to quality health care.
As long as they're working and they're not able to get insurance through work, we will take them, we will see them, we will try to help them out in whatever way we can.
Patient Melchor Palomares Alonso knows firsthand the obstacles immigrants can face when trying to communicate with doctors. Before going to Bethesda, he says he often felt hesitant or unsure when seeking medical care.
I had doubts. I was shy because I couldn't communicate. But here at Bethesda, they always have Spanish interpreters and support to help us feel confident in expressing ourselves.
Dr. Martinez says Bethesda makes it a priority to have bilingual staff on hand to get through those language barriers.
We are blessed to have a lot of bilingual folks at the front that can answer questions, providers as well, and things like that.
While Bethesda Health Clinic started out as a primary care clinic, Dr. Martinez says they have steadily expanded their services over the years.
Slowly, specialists have been added, and so we have had cardiology, we've had pulmonology, most of the specialties for medicine.
It's a level of affordability and compassion that Alonso says has had a profound impact, not just on him, but on the entire Hispanic community.
Bethesda has been constant. Bethesda has always been there. And for us immigrants and for the general public who don't have health insurance, it's been a great help.
Beyond just medical health care, Bethesda takes a holistic approach, incorporating mental health services and even spiritual support for patients. It's a mission that resonates with Dr. Martinez.
Bethesda is that we can put God first, and we can talk about our religion, our Christianity, with our patients.
For Alonso and so many others, Bethesda Health Clinic has been a beacon of hope. For Dr. Martinez, a workplace that provides quality care regardless of one's immigration status or ability to pay.
I feel very proud and privileged and blessed as well to be here.
A model that's making a real difference in the lives of those who need it most. Reporting for CBS19, I'm Diana Torrealba. We'll have more on Bethesda and their hours and more details about their medical services on our website, cbs19.tv. Mara, Jesus.
Diana, thanks so much.
All right, still ahead, a journey from Mexico to an East Texas football field.
Yeah, we shared the inspirational story of Victor Martinez, who is kicking away the competition. Stay with us. All right, check it out. These Birdwell dual language students, they dance together through the halls in celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month, with the Mexican dance often performed during celebrations at school dances as well. All right, next up, we want to take you to a local ballet company in Fort Worth, sticking with, dancing and culture that's recognizing the dance. Nicole Nielsen spent the day with Ballet Frontier as they rehearsed for their upcoming performance that combines Spanish culture with a traditional ballet.
It's an important ballet to do because Texas has so much Hispanic heritage.
When you take a classical ballet, combine it with fiery passion and comedy, you get the story of Don Quixote. Based on the book of the same title, the story is one of romance that follows two love interests, all set in Spain.
It's a beautiful story that I really hope the audience here in Fort Worth can enjoy.
Ballet Frontier is an internationally recognized premier classical ballet company in Fort Worth who puts on 4 productions a year. They try to align their performances with culturally relevant moments like Hispanic Heritage Month.
They incorporate flamenco with character shoes. I feel like flowers and roses are very Hispanic. The clapping, the snapping.
From costumes to music to props, you'll see Spanish culture on full display. and it wasn't exactly easy to learn.
It's definitely a little hard, especially the arm movements.
One of the show's leads, Luke Jones, is of Puerto Rican descent and says it means a lot to him that the company is choosing to honor this special month.
And not a lot of people do this, especially in the States and in Texas, and especially during this month. It's real important. I think, my grandma's from Puerto Rico. She's coming to see the show, so she's super excited.
But most importantly, they do this to share it with all of you, where culture and community take center stage.
It's a beautiful heritage that we have, and that we have to preserve it because it's part of history.
Well, how cool is that? Well, sticking with the tradition of parties and celebrations, this next one is an iconic symbol of the Latino and Hispanic community that has fascinated throughout our history, deeply rooted in traditions dating all the way back to the Aztec Empire. Of course, we're talking about a piñata. I'm sure you've seen it at many parties. Luz Delia Caballero shares how one artist is transforming the way he makes them.
We're currently in my studio in El Sereno. It's coming along. What you're seeing is actually 14 years of work, close to 15 years.
It's where Roberto Benavides's beautiful ideas come to life.
So this is what it all starts with, the paper mache part.
He gently makes strips of paper and a glue solution.
And I just mix that with a little water and just dip these strips of paper in and cover the balloon.
And this is only the beginning of a long process of making his version of a piñata.
Piñata is a cultural object, usually used in celebrations.
A tradition that dates back to the 14th century.
It's coming along, starting to look like a bird.
The Aztecs traditionally honored their gods by filling a small feather-covered pot with treasures and hitting it until all the contents fell at the feet of a statue.
With the metallic, it does take a little bit longer.
So yes, these beautiful creations were essentially made to be smashed, but Benavides wants to expand the breadth of what a piñata can be.
My goal was to push it out of the realm of only destruction to being preserved and actually admired and cared for in a long-term sense. And I've slowly developed a style where I use serrated fringe and use all acid-free materials just to make sure my pieces last for as long as they can.
His creations becoming a symbol and celebration of Mexican culture, a sculpture, if you will, which is fitting given his artistic background.
The fun aspect is figuring things out. So I didn't go to school for art. When I first moved to Los Angeles, I studied bronze casting.
But Benavides happily traded bronze for paper mache and strips of glue-soaked paper because
I really liked the idea of highlighting the Mexican cultural object in the fine art world.
It was more affordable and allowed him to show who he is with every design.
I'm always Mexican, I'm always white, I'm always gay, whether you know it or not. So that's kind of the identity that I push.
As for whether these have any surprises inside,
I do put stuff inside, but I don't talk about it. And it gives me the freedom to add something to a piece that may be very personal for me that I don't want to share with everybody. This can be quite tedious, but it's always worth it.
Hey, and don't forget, Consulado sobre Ruedas, a consulate over wheels, is coming to East Texas. It'll make a stop in Palestine October 15th, and it'll stay here until the 18th. This is for Mexican nationals only, since it is a Mexican consulate in their mobile bus, and you'll be able to get over-renewed passports, Mexican voter registration credentials, and other registrations as well. And they'll be at Knights of Columbus on 110 North Line Street in Palestine. This will definitely be a great opportunity to update any registrations.
All right, so we've shown you how the community in East Texas has stepped up to serve our Hispanic and Latino communities, but this next story is just a bit different. It's an inspiration to see a young person already living out their dream.
That's right. CBS19's Jamie Searfoss introduces us to Victor Martinez, a Nacogdoches senior who recently moved from the U.S. or to the U.S. from Monterrey, Mexico, and is now creating connections and opportunities to the game, football.
The football fields Victor Martinez grew up scoring on didn't have end zones. They didn't have field goals, and they definitely didn't have a statue of a dragon. They had nets and were what Americans called soccer fields. When he came to Nacogdoches from Monterrey, Mexico in 2022, Victor had to learn a lot of new American words, but one he didn't use to describe it was challenge.
I could resume that in one word, a miracle.
Now, in a new country, Victor gravitated to something familiar, his school soccer team. But that just put him in front of the football team's kicking coach, who brought him right back into unfamiliar territory.
He didn't know the sport at all. And we brought him in, we asked him if he wanted to play. He said yeah. And so ever since then, man, it's been amazing to have him here.
And it didn't take long for the soccer skills to translate.
Or just kick it into orbit.
As he played, he found a lot more than just points on the field.
Well, it was hard at the beginning. It was really hard because I'm someone that I don't talk too much and in Spanish, but in English it's even worse. Football helped me to have friends.
And those friends were just as happy as he was to hear he had received an offer to kick at Howard Payne University.
I couldn't believe it because it was something like how you saw like in pictures or movies or something like that.
Just amazed me. A kid coming from a different country, had no idea what he was getting into, and year 2 into football, he's a guy that's getting offers, so that's a great opportunity for him, and I'm happy for him.
Jimmy Searfoss, CBS 19.
And it's in.
It's a good goal right there. But yes, I think that, that's what it's all about. Coming to a new country, embracing the culture that we have, but also assimilating and making the best of what we can do here in East Texas and no matter where you live in the U.S.
That's what Hispanic Heritage Month is all about and why we're doing this entire show for you here in East Texas especially.
All right, from all of us here at CBS 19, I'm Marangeli Lopez.
And I'm Jesus Martinez.
Thank you so much for joining us for this year's Hispanic Heritage Month special. We'll see you next year.